Come on, girl. Just keep your distance. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Hey, welcome back, Heroes Peak fans. You got Jim and me today. We're giving you a quick peek. We're going to talk about the finale of Snowpiercer, the TV series. Just concluded over the weekend. For those of you up in the States, it's on TNT, right?
Yep, TNT.
And up here, we get it on Netflix usually the day after. So it was a two-part finale.
Mhm.
They decided to go ahead and air episode 9 and 10. And boy, that was pretty good, right? I thought it was really good. Way to close out the season for sure. Like it started kind of, with the whole detective thing, and I thought, well, okay, is he going to be solving cases every week? But wow, they went.
Yeah, it's gonna
went
be a
there.
serial drama. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. I didn't get a chance to go back and look at our podcast, but I still remember that the dialogue we were having was really, where can they take it from here? Six episodes in or 5 episodes in, whatever it was. And
Yeah.
I don't think any of us envisioned it would get turned into like almost like a lost TV, which I'll get into a little bit later, like the lost version of a TV show in 2020.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. So they wound up. Trying to do their revolution. They kind of succeeded. I don't know if you would say it was a full success. The other side, basically, they had won the first class. Let's say, well, let's explain it a little better. So the tailies wanted to revolt against the rest of the train, right? And
Led
take
by
over the
boy
train.
Leighton.
Right. So Leighton had been put in the drawer. He got broken out. He figured out that Melanie was Wilford, and then once he spread that word around the train, the first class people were like, she's got to go. So
Yeah.
they basically arrested her, and they were going to kill her.
I like the seeds that he planted with different factions on the train to
Right.
get the revolution started.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they used a catalyst of his old girlfriend getting killed as what pushed him to finally get certain people in the first class involved.
Yeah.
I didn't think it really needed that. It maybe was a plot device for the Folgers, the rich first class lady,
Yeah.
and some of the night car people. But I thought even without that, I thought he was driven enough when he came out their drawers to say, you know what, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. Right?
Yeah. So he's got people joining the fight now. He's got the tail section of third class people. Meanwhile, you got first class, you got the Folgers, and you got the head of security, that asshole dude. I forget his name. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but you're only able to get him through the lady officer, who was I think his second in command. I
The
keep forgetting her
hospitality,
name.
Ruth.
No, the officer, not the hospitality.
Oh,
She's one of the security.
Brakeman.
Brakeman? Is she a brakeman?
The one. Wait,
She was the one. She was the one that joined late. Her
Yeah.
girlfriend was the Asian lady in the first class.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. She was the one that got the head of security. Yeah.
Right.
She turned him.
Yeah. No, well, I'm talking about the dude who was in charge of the actual military forces. The Scottish dude who wanted to be in charge with Ruth, the hospitality.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're the ones that kind of led the revolt with the Folgers. It was all big power.
When you say revolt, I was thinking the other way around. But there was another revolt that was happening simultaneously.
Right.
Was because they then found out from the Folger's daughter, because she used one of the kids who were from Tailies, who was up in the first class, actually in the engine.
Yeah.
They used the whole story that Wilford is in there.
Yeah.
Which only Leighton told her, right? And then from there, the events followed, which I thought was interesting, because now you have two separate revolts happening on the single train.
Yeah.
So I thought they laid the foundation of the episode previous to the part 9, episode 8, a week ago. Thought laid it pretty well. My only qualms was again the fact that Leighton seemed to be a little erratic, maybe because he was love hurt, whatever it was. I didn't
Yeah.
like that because you showed him to be a man of like purpose and also of intellect, and
Right.
now he's just seems so emotionally bound. So, but going into episode 9, because I want to focus on episode 9, episode 10, I think everything was planted really well, and it was great to see the drama between people that were tied in the first class that didn't like Melanie, and
Mm,
then people that were tied in the first class that just felt like they didn't like the Folgers, right? Because you can kind of
right.
see dynamics during the dinner tables, and then of
Yeah.
course you have the tailies, right? Some of the tailies like, is this it? They're all ready to go. Like this is the moment.
Yeah.
The little red things are like symbolizes, this is it's about to go down. It's about to go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. So meanwhile, we had yeah. So they were getting to do that, and then so meanwhile, Melanie escapes, and she decides, well, I'm gonna go ahead and help the tailies out.
Hmm.
So she comes up with a plan to get rid of the Folgers and the security guy and Ruth and all of them. She says, "Hey, let's separate the cars." And I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
how's that gonna work?" I
but
thought that
but
was pretty fucking
but Mike,
cool.
even before that,
Yeah,
they threw the red herring where you thought she was gonna die, right?
you're
She
right.
committed
Yeah.
treason. They're gonna give her the lung of ice. That
Which
was, I guess
that
that
was
was
vicious, by the way. When they did that to the old man, I was like, "Oh man,
the
that
paper guy, the head of the
that."
paper mill.
Mm-hmm.
That was terrible. And then the camera played it really tight to her
Yeah.
face and the mechanism around her, right? And
Yeah.
then there's a long draw out sequence before you saw it was one of the engine
Yeah.
the engineers in the engine that was
Yeah.
saving her.
Right.
And
Right.
you're like, okay, there's no way they're gonna kill off Jennifer Connelly so quick, right?
Yeah.
So now she joins the Taylors, and then she tells them about the plan to decouple the train and recouple, which I thought as an engineer was pretty astounding. That was the way they were going to do it, and not like
Yeah.
trying to find some other way to get rid of the Folgers and the first class revolution.
Yeah. It was just kind of so you suspend disbelief a bit. Suspend belief a bit because you got to imagine the quickness with which they switch the tracks back and forth in the minus 100-degree, whatever it is,
Hmm.
after how many years of that track not moving. I don't think it would have moved that quickly, but okay, it worked, whatever. So, so they managed to get rid of those cars, and they sent first class the Folgers on their own way. And I love the
Yeah.
look at the end when they realized, oh shit, we're gonna die.
So there was two things I want to talk about that real quick. Two
Mm,
things. Before we get to the Folgers, what about the moment where Leighton um is about to disengage the train,
with
and
the
he
prisoners.
realizes there's some tailies that are prisoners in
Yeah,
there, and he pauses at first because the mission is a mission, but he realizes no, he can't just leave them there. He goes in to
yeah,
tries to
I
rescue them,
know.
and realizes that he
Yeah,
can't rescue them.
yeah,
That to me was played well by Daveed Diggs, who I'm
mm,
a huge fan of in recent times. We
yep,
talked about Hamilton in the Hamilton podcast. And I thought even some of the prisoners, some of their faces and the direction that the director gave for them to, where you felt that moment when they're
oh,
trapped, some of them probably had
sure,
no clue what was about to happen.
yep,
But you could
yep,
see in David's eyes, like he knew what he had to do and he knew what was going to happen.
yeah,
That landed to be perfect. And I think on a show that was, maybe not so stellar in the beginning, we talked about it before,
mm-hmm,
I love what they're doing and what they did in the latter half, right? Particularly
yeah.
these last 3 episodes, and he played it well, man. I felt it for that
He
moment.
did. You
I
could see
was
it in his face that when he was like, "I'm sorry, I'm
so
sorry,"
sorry. I'm so
and
sorry.
then the prisoners when they came to the realization as, after he closed the door and they realized, "Oh snap, we're done," and they
We're
kind of
done.
put their heads down in prayer or whatever they were gonna do, right?
Yeah. Then you have the Folgers, right? So the Folgers are probably one of the first ones to realize the car that the string of
Yep.
cars that they were in were getting disconnected from the train. So they looked at each other, and their first concern was their daughter.
Right.
At that moment, I
Psychopath.
thought their daughter knew what was going to happen and knew the plan,
Mm.
and told them that they had to be there with the
Oh
Scottish
yeah,
head of
good point.
police.
Yeah.
That's what I thought at the moment until
Right.
episode 10. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, they're going to their deaths not knowing that their daughter sent them to their deaths. This is some deep level stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, but she didn't know. She didn't
No,
know.
she
So
didn't know. Which I didn't realize until episode 10 when we watched her.
yeah. So that kind of that brought us to the end of 9, and then in 10 we find out that there's another train on the tracks, and I thought that was now here we're getting this is getting interesting too,
Hmm.
man.
Another signal. We didn't know it was a
Another
train yet.
signal, right?
We knew it was music and another signal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I thought, because before we get too fast into the other train, the beginning of episode 10 had to do with, all right, now this revolution is concluded, right? The
Yeah.
tailies are basically the victors, and now they want to propose democracy, right? I
Right.
was laughing because
Yeah.
I had the conversation with
Representative democracy.
representatives and
Yeah.
councils and all this stuff. I was like, this is about to turn to Star Wars Episode 2 over here, right? Trade
Yep.
Federation is going to have a representative. So
Right.
while they were doing that part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Melanie now, like she was she was a very important part of the revolution and the Tailies to win. She
Yeah.
now removes herself from the main storyline, right? And she goes
Right.
to see what's her name, the psychologist in the night car to kind of like get some therapy.
Yeah.
And they introduce her, they fill out her backstory, which we kind of knew spots, here and there about her daughter
Right.
and Wilford. And all of a sudden my spider sense was tingling and I thought of Lost. I was like, I hope they don't end this show where there's like somewhere in the North Pole or somewhere on Earth, there's like another set of survivors that are sending out this transmission, and her
Mm-hmm.
daughter and Wilford are on that little hatch, right? I had a sneaky feeling because I was like, Chekhov's gun. Why are you bringing back up the story of her daughter at this pivotal moment of the finale, unless it's gonna come back at some point? So
Yeah.
the train couples, and some weird Michael Bay Transformer style connection. I'm like, this is not just a regular Snowpiercer train. This is their next evolution of this train,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
So in my mind, I didn't think it was Mr. Wilford. I thought it was the other society that's still alive
Mm.
with Melanie's daughter as part of that society. At that
Okay.
point, it was very strong that she was
Yeah.
on that train, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
you just gave us a little Chekhov's gun earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
episode, right? So, what were your thoughts when you see everyone else reacting the way they did, seeing the other train pulling a parallel to them? Because there was mixed feelings about it. Tailies, the second and third class, and then the
Yeah,
first
well,
class.
you could see Ruth was all excited. Oh, Mr. Wilford's back, and I was like, oh well, that's not gonna go well. So, and I was kind of with the tailies there that, or with Leighton, like, if they board us, we're done for. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, so this is gonna go bad, especially when they started hacking the systems right
Hmm.
on the train to take over. I was like, yep, it's gonna be an all-out brawl here.
Which seemed too easy.
Yeah, yeah, it did. But if he had designed the systems, I could see how he would be able to
how
do
he
it.
was able to do it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Who knows? And then, so at the end there, we leave off with they open up the door, and the little girl walks through, who turns out to be Melanie's daughter, and she basically just asks for her mother, right?
Her mother, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But what about the plan for Melanie to cut the link between Mr. Wilford's train and her train? That to me that didn't make any sense. Like, why would it? There had to have been a way of disconnecting it locally at that cabin engine, without compromising the rest of the ship's
Yeah.
communication protocol. Like for me, again, this is where I can't suspend disbelief. You're telling me that the only way to do it is you physically go out in the sub-degree weather,
And
cross like your freaking Wolverine and Wolverine Origins movie, come down the entire train length to the end. And what? She didn't have a pair of pliers with her. I had no clue what was she gonna do when she got to that part. That part
pull out
didn't
an
make any
axe or
sense
something.
other
Yeah.
than to have her not be inside the train where the events were occurring. That's what I thought at the end. I was
Yeah,
like,
just to throw her off the thing. Yeah.
and I was following social media during that moment because
Mhm.
sometimes it's fun seeing other people's reaction and comments, and everyone was saying the same thing. No way you kill Oscar actress Jennifer Connelly at that
Yeah.
moment like
Right.
that. No
Right.
way, no way. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, no way. This is another red herring. She's not dead. No way she's dead.
No, then train she gets thrown off, but train comes to a full stop.
Yeah, but the way they did it, it made it seem like there's no way she's surviving that.
Right.
Like at that speed, falling into that, she's done for.
Yeah, so I just find it interesting because now the train stops, she's outside. She doesn't realize her daughter is on the thing.
But did you
So,
notice where the camera pans back? She's all the way at the taily of the other train.
yeah, because it had been moving
Yeah.
after she got thrown
So
off.
she's
Yeah.
all the way at the end of that train.
Yeah, so she's going to have to make her way out of there.
Yeah, 2,000 cars.
Yeah. Well, I thought the other one was only like 40 cars.
Oh, I don't. That's true. All right.
Yeah, so I think it was only 40 cars. They had dropped like they dropped like 17 cars on the when they did got rid of the Folgers.
Yeah.
and then now they've got 40
40
cars.
cars.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I thought they kept dropping these little hints that the other train was a supply train, and that this train, the Snowpiercer, although it was supposed to be eternal, because of the parts that they were using, that eventually they would need supplies, right? So you're thinking, okay, there is some benefit to having this train be coupled to them because depending how season 2 goes, they can salvage their train with the parts of the other train,
Right.
assuming that they come out on top, right?
Yeah.
Where this has to go. I knew staying at the end of the episode that there had to been like some trailers because going into the last 2 episodes, I already heard that they had finished principal photography for season 2. So I'm like,
Okay.
oh, they
Wow.
must have at least like a 5-second teaser or something to show
Yeah.
us
You would
at
think.
the end. So I waited to see that, and we were both pleasantly surprised. What were your thoughts?
Actually, no, I didn't see that. They didn't show that at the. I didn't stick around for the.
You gotta be kidding me, dude.
Was it after the credits?
Yes.
No, I didn't watch it after the credits.
Oh
'Cause
my
you know
God.
you know what Netflix does? Netflix just pulls away from credits and gives
Oh,
you.
I would
Here's
play it
what
if
you
we
might
didn't
like
get
to
kicked off
watch.
of YouTube. Me playing it right now, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, you have. Oh, dude, that's another huge thing, man.
Okay, I'll actually, yeah, I'll check it out as soon as we're done here. But
I'm lucky I didn't spoil it talking to
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's good to know. I'll go check it out. I had no idea because Netflix likes to push you to the next show right away. So
Oh yeah,
they don't even let you watch credits in between
it,
episodes.
it's huge. It's huge.
Okay.
Yeah, all I gotta
I'll
say.
take a look. All
So
right,
yeah,
well,
man.
I for one am looking forward to season 2. I'm more impressed by the last half of this season than I was the first half. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And I'm looking forward to see what they're going to bring us next go around.
And
So,
we know it's already in a can, so it shouldn't take them that long to drop it. I hope they do it the latest, maybe early January 2021. I
yeah,
would imagine.
hopefully. Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
so. All
Good
right,
stuff,
cool.
man.
All right, everyone. Let us know what you think of Snowpiercer season 1 in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on all social media, and subscribe to our channel. And we will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.
And please don't be shy. Send us some comments. Tell us what we
Yeah,
can do.
let
Would
us
you like
know.
to see us react or review? Appreciate that.
All right, Jim. Take care.
Take care, Mike.
Yeah.